Hey guys, this is Lala Legacy and welcome back to another episode of SeaBed. So, let's jump right back in. You can come anytime. Goes away without turning back, climbed the stairs and disappeared from sight. I'll go see the princess off. Narasaki rose to her feet. Lily and I saw the two off. I wonder if she's planning to be an architect or a designer in the future. It's pretty inspiring to see someone so young start from such an early age. I agree. She's quick on the uptake and is clearly motivated. If only she acted a bit friendlier, she'd be a favorite among teachers. Lily paused there. It seemed as though she was about to reveal the reason behind Kozue's behavior. Like Narasaki said before, everyone had their own individual circumstances. Maybe she likes you, but isn't good at showing it. I feel like you could have given her some even better advice, though. Lily kept her fingers on her teacup's handle without actually lifting up the cup itself. Nana told me you were running a design office in the city. I am. What kind of job is it exactly? I got that question a lot. We meet our clients' demands, whatever they may be. Do you make advertisements for magazines and TV stations? If the project calls for it. I believe it's an expanding business. Radios, newspapers, television, almost everyone uses them these days. Your workload must be increasing by the day, or am I wrong? You're right that we get more offers nowadays. However, most of the big companies already have their established ties with old advertising agencies, so a relatively new place like ours tends to only get local small-scale projects. Oh, so it's an old business actually. Advertising's been around for 100 years. I see. Are you interested in advertising? Lily waved her hand in front of her face. No. The topic simply came up when I chatted with someone in the town the other day. Living up here in the mountains, in the middle of nowhere, leaves me with plenty of time to think and ponder, you see. I see. Lily smiled, and I couldn't help but help smiling in return. I heard the grandfather clock chime for the nth time, or nth time, whatever. I don't know. Actually, I do know. I just messed up. I think I should be going. Oh, I didn't realize it's gotten so late. Give me a second. Lily promptly vanished into the kitchen and returned with a basket full of pastries neatly lined on a piece of kitchen paper, sporting a flower design. Take this with you. Thank you very much. I'll make sure to use them as a midnight snack. You can hand the basket to Nana when she comes to your room. Thank you. Both the tea and your pastries were delicious. It's been a long time since I had the chance to chat with a fresh face. I'd be happy to talk some other time, so don't be shy. All right. I gave her a small bow and headed toward the exit. Miss Sachiko? Yes? I think Nanae likes you very much. She's been working at this inn since she was a child, and with her hobbies being antiques and working in the fields, she never had any friends her age. Would you mind becoming her first? I'm also having fun spending time with her. Ooh, what was that look for? I see. I suppose that was an empty concern on my part. Lily gave me the warmest smile I'd seen from her today. Oh, that's right! She stopped me again. I forgot about it earlier, but I know the architect who was responsible for remodeling this place. I think Kozue might be interested in meeting him too. Could you tell her for me when you see her around? Of course. Well then, see you! I made another bow as Lily waved me goodbye. I'm sorry for holding you up so many times. I'm done now, I promise. Goodbye. Her slender fingers reached out to the book on the top shelf, but instead of pulling it out, only managed to push it deeper inside. Here you go. Standing behind Kozue and her wooden stand, I took the volume she was trying to reach. I thought you went home. Whoops, I thought you went home. I held up the stuffed doll in front of her as she turned around. I was planning to go after checking this. Ignoring the doll, she climbed down from the stand and walked over to the same desk as yesterday while carrying a large book. I sat down in the seat in front of hers. Kozue opened the book right away and began scribbling down some notes. Oh, right. Did Lily say she could Lily said she could introduce you to an architect if you're interested. He could show you how the actual work gets done. I see. When? I don't know. She didn't mention it, so I suppose they can arrange it whenever. You can ask her yourself. Kozue stared at me for a long few moments until finally breaking our gaze. I'm grateful for what you did today. Thank you. She muttered that without looking at me while continuing to scribble away at her papers. Is this really that important to you? Not really. I'm just looking it up because I'm curious. How did you get interested in this place to begin with? It was close. I don't really care what it is. I just like doing research. There are a lot of people who like crossword puzzles, right? It's the same. Crossword puzzles? If you know how many windows there should be in a room, you can tell how many rooms a building has just by looking at it from the outside. You can tell it has a fireplace if there's a chimney. And as you research that, you find more and more things that answer your questions. It's like a crossword puzzle, right? So, you don't have any special feelings for this place? Kozue continued scribbling without answering. All I could hear was the rustling paper and the light thud of the pen as it pressed against the desk. I looked up at the ceiling to realize it was already dark outside. The sounds of writing suddenly ceased. I returned my gaze to Kozue and found her staring at me. Why do you care about me so much? To be completely honest, it's because you remind me of my good friend. What kind of person is she? She regarded me with another one of her sharp stares. She was a smart girl who liked books. Kinda like you. You could say she was also kinda difficult to deal with. I don't think she had any other friends besides yours truly. Kozue mumbled something as she began stuffing her notes into her bag. I picked up the book she left lying on the table. Kozue didn't say anything, so I returned it to its original place on the shelf. I turned around to see Kozue staring at me, all ready to go. She broke our gaze right away and started toward the exit. I followed after her, leaving the library. I caught up to her on the stone-paved road and continued walking with her until we came to a fork that split off to the mansion. You live behind that mountain? Yes. I heard there was a small village there. Is it close? Yes. I'd love to see it. Can I come with you for part of the way? Kozue stole a short glance at me and let out a small sigh. She didn't outright reject me, so I kept going. We passed the road that split to the mansion, eventually reaching a set of stone stairs. We ascended them and found ourselves on an outside road. Kozue continued up the slanted, unpaved slope without changing her speed. Looking behind, I saw the three-way junction we passed with the car back when I first came to the mansion. I turned back and addressed Kozue. How did you feel about meeting Lily today? I caught up to Kozue and lined up next to her as she gave me a puzzled look. Everyone was calling her an aunt, so I imagined it'd be someone older. I thought she'd at least be as old as Nanae's mother. Kozue didn't seem too interested and just shrugged. After a few minutes, we found ourselves in front of a small tunnel. A single car would have trouble fitting in. We reached the end of the short tunnel and emerged into a wide basin. The irrigation ditches sprawled all across the area, disappearing beyond the mountain. A small river flowed in the middle. Most of the fields were either rice or wheat plantations, with a few isolated farms visible here and there. We continued down the gentle slope of the unpaved road along the river. It's beautiful here. There's nothing here. That can be a good thing depending on how you look at it. I stopped, but Kozue didn't. The distance between us began to grow. I think I'll be turning back around here. Kozue seemed on the verge of looking back, but ended up continuing onwards without paying me any further attention. As I made my way back through the tunnel, I realized that the southern end of the mountain was brighter than the northern one. I was walking through the inner yard, watching the orange-tinted light of dusk illuminate the second-floor windows, when I spotted Nanae approaching with a cartwheel of vegetables. She looked like a beggar from some old fable, her forehead covered in sweat and mud, her face frozen in a broad smile. Oh! She waved my way after spotting me, just like she did this morning. Looks like it was a bountiful harvest. We're having lots of fresh vegetables for dinner tonight. Oh, right! Did you manage to meet my auntie? Yes. I raised the basket in front of her. I see you got yourself some pulverons. I saw her making them this morning. Those things are to die for. Care for some? You sure? Yes. Nanae came closer, pulling her hands out of muddy cotton gloves. Oh! There was still some dirt on her hands. It must have seeped through the gloves. Here you go. I picked up one of the provolones and dangled it in front of Nanae's mouth. She took a bite. It's good! I love how it melts in your mouth, she said while wiping her forehead. Is Lily not a full-blooded Japanese? Nanae paused for a few moments, then burst into laughter. I see she still introduces herself as that. Is that not her real name? I gave her an incredulous look. She's 100% Japanese. It's just that, apparently, she thought her real name didn't suit the mood of this place, so she changed it up a bit. I see. Her real name is Eureka. That's a beautiful name. I agree. Lily was apparently the name of a character in a movie she liked as a child, but I can't comment much on it since I never saw it. I see. Nanae's gaze was transfixed on the basket, so I gave her another provolone. I don't know how to say that word. Anyway, I've got to get back and start preparing for dinner. I'll be looking forward to it. Oh, you totally should. Bye-bye, see you tomorrow. The nurse leaned down and waved the boy goodbye. Goodbye. The boy took his mother's hand, who had leaned down just like the nurse, and continued towards the gates of the kindergarten where his parents' car awaited. Red dragonflies fluttered against the backdrop of the crimson sunset. I returned to my book. After a bit of time, another car arrived, and there was one less child again. Aww, baby Takako! What are you reading? The child's voice caught me unaware. I looked from the book to see a young girl with a ponytail staring at me. Let's play if you're alone, she suggested before I could answer. I'm not alone. I glanced at my red-haired friend beside me. She was looking at the ponytailed girl. Aww. So they all met in kindergarten. How cute. But wait. Doesn't that... I'm thinking about it, because doesn't that just, like, contradict what it said in the very beginning of the game? I don't remember anymore. Anyways, we have unlocked the bathroom and the kitchen tips in Narasaki Clinic, which we will be going over next time that I record this. So let's finish up this episode. Chapter 3. Ooh, achievement unlocked, mansion. Alright, Chapter 3, promise. I woke up around noon after the day I had my fit. Both the headache and the ringing in my ears were gone without a trace. As I sat up, I spotted a familiar notebook resting on the dining table. Mayuko told me to stay in the night duty room until she returned, so I killed some time by doing nothing in particular. After that, Mayuko brought me lunch and we ate together. It was udon and some tangerines. I wanted something more interesting. Don't force yourself to eat everything if you aren't feeling hungry. I think I'm okay. If anything, I feel like my appetite has gone up. Most of the other patients have trouble getting out of bed the next day following a fit. It can even upset their life rhythm. With that in mind, I think it'd be better for you to have something light now, and maybe eat a bit more for dinner later. That was your first fit since coming here, right? I nodded. I'll have to read all of that now? I asked, pointing at the notebook on the table. I explained your condition a while back. Do you remember? I do. It was something this place specialized in. Fit-induced amnesia. I'd lose some of my memories with each new attack. It was a newly discovered disease that had yet to even be named. So, in here, we just called it the condition. Most patients tend to lose larger chunks of memory, ranging from a 1-month period to an entire year, sometimes even more. But you never really forget things gradually. Little by little, right? Right. You lose a whole set of memories right away, and that's it, Mayuko answered with a nod. But that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below, and if you haven't already, subscribe. By subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!